Oh, okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of MO2VATE magazine interviews with our winning article submitters. Today, I have with me the lovely Emma Dunlop. She is the owner of ER Marketing Group, and I am so happy to have her. And her article, actually in issue 7 of MO2VATE magazine, was all about marketing and how that affected businesses during the pandemic. And by the way, my name is Kim Langling, your host for today. I'm an author, a freelance writer, ghostwriter, and host of the podcast Let Fear Bounce. But today I am here on behalf of MO2VATE magazine. So Emma, thank you so much for joining me today. And I want to jump right into it. First off, I want to know, when did you start with ER Marketing Group, and what exactly is it that you folks do?
So we started ER Marketing Group last year. It was me and my husband that came up with it. It was all a bit of a rush. I got made redundant at the end of June, and there were no marketing jobs because first thing to go is marketing. So we started a business in the middle of a pandemic. Why not?
Why not, indeed?
Yeah. So no better time really to start businesses there. And the plan was just do it for a few weeks until the market picked up, but actually it just took off. It went crazy. We work with small businesses and startups, and we help them with their marketing strategy. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to help businesses recover from COVID, because in the UK, where I'm from, it's just done so much damage. And small businesses obviously don't have the budget to use big marketing agencies. So we wanted to go in as affordable and reliable and just give them the service that, they needed right now. And that's really paid off for us. So.
I think that's awesome. And just a little less than a year, and you said it's just taken off. That's wonderful. That is so wonderful. Now, do you work just in your local area, or since the world turned global during the pandemic and everything's virtual and stuff, do you have global clients as well?
We do. So we've got a client in New York and we've got one in Canada. Most of them are in the UK though, but we've got interest from sort of Germany, France. So it's growing. That wasn't the plan. We did talk a couple of months ago that we'll go global in a year or so, and then just as everything went global, it's like, why not, let's do it. So we got approached from a guy in New York that wanted to work with us, and then a week later it was someone from Canada, and it's just gone since then. So it's like, okay, scrap the plan, we'll just go global now.
Well, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Go big or go home, come on.
Exactly.
I love how you said you didn't plan on getting on growing so much. I love hearing that. We didn't plan on growing so much.
Yeah, I've seen
wonderful.
businesses that grow too quickly, and that was the one thing that I wanted to, make sure that we didn't do, so that we didn't crash and burn. But that kind of went out the window.
I think it's great. Now, in your article, you have a great article too, by the way. I did enjoy reading it. And you talk a lot about, you're just right down there nitty gritty, where large businesses, this is during the pandemic over the last year, larger businesses, and like you had mentioned earlier, the marketing staff and departments are typically the first to go. Same thing happened to me. I was made redundant, and I've been in sales and marketing for 24 years. And I was made redundant in November. So I understand that feeling, and I know exactly, it's the same here in the United States, that people were losing their jobs, departments were being let go of simply because of marketing and sales budgets. And I know that in the UK, you mentioned in your article, and I asked you prior to us going live here, you mentioned high street a lot of times, many times in your article. And I honestly, as an American, I had to say, what is high street? Is that a street in your town? So explain, because I know that there are other Americans reading this article. What is high street? Because the way you mention it, as it's more than just one street. So what is it actually?
So in the UK, that's what we call our town centres, the shops in our town centres. We call it the high street. Didn't actually think when I wrote it in that actually not everyone's going to know what that is. So it's a good lesson there actually.
Well, and everybody learned something today. Exactly. Then, so they can all thank us.
Yeah. So if you come to the UK, you go on any town centre where there's some shops, you're on a high street.
Fantastic. Then we can talk like we're locals then.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the high street? Can you take me to
Right.
the high street?
Yeah. And me with my accent, I'm sure I would blend right in.
Definitely.
So tell me a little bit about your marketing journey, your background.
Yeah. So I've been in marketing about 6 years now. I worked for various companies. I've done some temp roles here and there, and just I started off as a marketing assistant and worked my way up to marketing manager through various companies. A couple of years ago, I did do a bit of freelance on the side, just to get some extra money. It was actually for my guinea pig. She wasn't very well, so I started a little freelance work just to get some money so I could put her through surgery. But actually, she didn't need it in the end. So that was kind of where it started. But yeah, so I've worked for charities, I've worked for a law firm, international companies, and I've worked for small family startups as well, which is kind of where the business stemmed from, because I like the smaller companies rather than the big companies, because it's just so hard to get things done in a big company.
It is. There's an awful lot of red tape and people to get through to get things done. Whereas the smaller companies, it's just more one-on-one, and you're making a friend. It seems like you're you're helping out a friend. Yeah. So in your article, you talk about the smaller businesses being able to grow throughout this pandemic, because of the larger ones, unfortunately, having to close or let go of their marketing, or their marketing budgets have slimmed way down, or they no longer have one. Share with us what you may have seen with the small businesses that you're working with over the past year.
So during the pandemic, we lost a lot of big brands in our UK town centres. A lot of brands that have been around for 200 years, some of them.
Oh.
So there's a huge gap in the market now. And I've also seen a lot of people starting businesses, which at the beginning of the pandemic was something I didn't think I'd see. I thought it'd be a time when people, clung to their jobs, but actually people that get made redundant, or they just look at it and think, actually, you know what, COVID's made me realize life's too short. I want to go self-employed. So there is potential for businesses to kind of get in there and fill the gaps that have been left by those brands, the big brands, if they can get the support, from our government to start filling the high street town centres. Because one thing we're noticing in especially the smaller towns is we've got so many empty shop fronts. You just go down through the town centre and there's just not a huge amount there. So hopefully the government will come together and give these small businesses a chance to take on a shop and grow. Because a lot of companies, the first thing they did was, right, marketing, off you go, that's it. They furloughed them and then they made them redundant. Because I discovered when I started looking for clients for my freelance, I called around some quite big companies and said, I'm freelance, you're here if you need me. And they also, we've all made our marketing teams redundant, the sales teams are gone, HR's gone, everyone's gone. And of course, that's the downfall. As soon as you stop marketing, your sales fall, and that's it.
It's just a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
And I've always been curious as to why the sales and marketing departments are the ones to go first, because without sales,
exactly,
you don't have
the most important function, really.
Right. And it's the same in the United States here. The sales and marketing departments are the first to go if there's a recession or some sort of financial hardship on the company. And I'm thinking, I've never understood that mindset, to be honest with you.
No, I haven't. And I don't think it will change. It happened in 2008 when we had the recession, and it's happened again during COVID. So unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to change.
And the same thing in 2008 with me. I was made redundant and I was a marketing manager, sales and marketing manager. And during that recession here, when we were hit hard in the United States, and I was in manufacturing, and manufacturing was the main part that got just slammed. But the entire sales and marketing department, those under me, we were all let go. Yeah, and I'm thinking, we're the ones who are,
yeah, you're keeping the business going, keeping the sales coming in.
Yeah, I've never understood that. Yeah, so that's happened to me twice, in 2008 and then now during the pandemic. But I can resonate with what you said when some of your clients, they realize life is too short, and I'm gonna start doing this for myself then, instead of going and being an employee. I want to start my own thing. I've seen that happen a lot here in the United States as well. Is that most of your clients, those types of folks that they were let go or they left on their own and just said, I've always had this desire to do this. I'm good at it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that is exactly what most of our startups are. They've all started as a result of the pandemic, and some of them it'll be, oh, I had this idea about 5 years ago, but I've not done anything about it. And it's not until now, when they've been home more, they've maybe been made redundant, they've actually had that time to think about it. And it was a really good time to start, actually, because one thing that I'm finding now is balancing the business and thinking, how am I going to have a social life now that things are opening up? It's such a difficult thing to have. Whereas in lockdown, it was like, business, that was it, because there was no social life. We weren't going out, we weren't doing anything, we weren't traveling to work. So I think it was just, people being at home more, and just almost giving themselves permission to think about this dream and actually put themselves first for once. And there's some great stories out there.
Oh my goodness, there's some amazing stories, and I include myself in that one, because now I'm doing something that I've wanted to do for so many years and decided, well, there's a reason that I'm home now. I'm no longer working where I work. There's a reason for that. So I think the reason is for me to dig on into what I actually want to do and make it work. So what specific types of things do you work on with your clients? Like, what specific services do you offer?
So we build websites. Well, my husband builds the websites. He's my tech guy. So he builds websites on Squarespace for our clients. I focus more on the marketing strategy and the content creation. So I'll look at their social media, I'll look at their email marketing, I'll write blogs for them, articles, that kind of stuff, just with the aim of getting them out there, really. One thing that we're focusing a lot on at the moment is the offline marketing. So obviously during lockdown, there was no offline marketing, no one was going anywhere, whereas now people are starting to go out more. We're encouraging our clients to focus on the radio adverts, think about newspapers, posters, that kind of thing, and just try and get them out there so that hopefully they're everywhere,
right?
Online and offline.
Well, and that's the goal. That is the goal. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. Loved your article, and I hope that you submit more to MO2VATE.
I've already submitted one.
You can do 2 in 1 year. You can have two. You can have 2 accepted within one 12-month period. So you should try it again, and update us on how your business is going. I'd love to hear more, like 6 months from now. I personally would like to hear how you're doing, because I love hearing those stories of all these businesses that started up in the midst of a pandemic and they're thriving.
They are.
It's,
such a good time.
to look at how awful the pandemic was, because it was awful for so many, but then it was just an open door of opportunities for so many as well.
Exactly. And if everyone is,
it was a very interesting year.
Yes, definitely. That's the way to word it. Interesting in many ways.
Very interesting. Well, folks, that wraps up here another edition of our MO2VATE interviews with our article submitters for the magazine. I do want to share real quick my screen. So if you want to subscribe to MO2VATE Magazine, you can go to MO2VATEmagazine.com to subscribe. It is very, very reasonably priced per year, and you get that digitally. You can also order hard copies as they are available once the magazine is published. MO2VATE Magazine is under the umbrella of Revival Sanctuary, what is the brainchild of Sharon Brown. She is the founder of Revival Sanctuary and MO2VATE Magazine. So check that out and go to MO2VATEmagazine.com. So Emma, thank you once again for joining me on here. It was lovely to get to meet you and talk to you, and I look forward to talking to you sometime in the future.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. It's been great to have a chat with you about everything. So thank you.
You are more than welcome. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.